Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here. And the Trump HBO Axios interview is what I'm seeing all across regular and social media and different excerpts of this thing. Basically, it looks like about, a 40-minute, 50-minute interview with the president on various topics. Now, I didn't have the time to watch the whole thing. If you guys were paying attention yesterday or came in on the channel, I was over at the Capitol in Albany with about 200 people, separate speakers, speaking out about what's going on not only in my state but this country, but especially in New York State. Now, after that, I ended up doing Mixed Martial Mindset with John Fitch, and then the Union of the Unwanted, which I had completely forgotten about, and it was almost 2 hours long. I did end up posting my version of that, but there was a particular instance, and I got worked up again and again in that, so I don't know what to say. It's just frustrating to me. I'm going to try to not get worked up and kind of just point some things out here. But I talked about Trump in particular and how, there are these moments where you kind of take his side no matter what, because he is right, or somebody in his administration is right. Like when Bill Barr talks about voter fraud and mail-in voting, I agree with the guy. But then when we get to him laughing about Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein's suicide, no, I don't appreciate that, obviously. And, we've done those videos. That's not what this video is going to be. But in Trump in particular, there are certain things that were promised that get completely inverted. Right? But Trump's not dumb. I want to reiterate that narrative as well, because there's this narrative where he's just an idiot, he just says everything off the cuff. No, he's very smart and calculated. And honestly, his response, as much as I don't like it, will play to his base when asked about Ghislaine Maxwell. So we're going to show that little portion of the interview. I'm going to break it down because one of the things that he reiterated twice when answering the question was people don't know whether he killed himself in reference to Epstein or he was killed. Okay? So Trump knows what he's doing, and he's like, well, that's why I'm wishing her well. He knows what he put out in the press release, and he's very cunning in a lot of his answers. That's not the only one. We're going to get to all that, guys. We're going to play the clip, but I got to remind you, and I know I hate doing this in the beginning or middle of my videos, but we're now almost on the 8th. In 4 days. There will be 4 months I've been completely demonetized. Completely. So think about that. I'm not on any of these public programs where I went for unemployment and I'm getting an extra $600 a week. That I don't want a UBI. This is what I love to do, whether it's go out to events like that. I mean, thank you for helping me tour the country, because now I have to go back to Iowa and find a place to live. I'm going to have to move. $5, $10, $15, it really does mean the world to me. It keeps me up doing this, showing you news that you won't see anywhere else, documenting things. I mean, go look and see if you can find how many mainstream media outlets covered yesterday's protest in Albany against Cuomo. Take a hard look. It's not there. It's me and you and everyone out there that still gives a damn and can think for themselves, and that's what we're trying to do here. So thumbs the video up, subscribe, and share. Remember, all my documentary films are also free. And I would really encourage you to check out Invisible Empire, A New World Order Defined, and Shade the Motion Picture right now. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. And guys, in about an hour, at noon every Tuesday, you can go sign up for Rockfin. It's free. Follow me there. There will be a free exclusive live stream coming up in about an hour. We're going to go over the TikTok stuff. Because, again, that's really nuanced. It's not what you think. We'll talk big TikTok over on Rockfin in about an hour. And then if you missed it live, you can always go watch it again. So you can sign up for free. It's going to be a free video. Okay, let's get into it. I do wish her well. Trump doubles down on message of support, and he does. But he sneaks in certain things that will play to his base. And before we get there, I want to just talk about this for a second. Number one of the number one things that Trump ran on, right? Other than he loved the WikiLeaks, couldn't get enough of the WikiLeaks. Have you seen the WikiLeaks? And then turns around with this indictment, which is just beyond anything. I mean, forget about just the Trump administration. This will be used again and again and again against everybody they consider a cyber terrorist, which is a public disclosure organization now. When you out the crimes of the predator class, you are now a cyber terrorist, and it's gone global. That's one. But number two is he promised not only to take down the deep state, but to give us the JFK documents twice in 6-month intervals after he failed the first time, and then didn't do it after the second time. Let me reiterate this. If you cannot expose the deep state from half a century ago, there is no way the apparatus that has been built over those 50 plus years of cartel-like national security states and propaganda, okay? That's why we're beholden to Bill Gates billionaires and the United Nations. You didn't vote for him, I didn't vote for him. That's not the system anymore, right? So if you can't expose it 50 years ago, how are you going to take it down now? You know, but at the same time, you know, and I want to reiterate this, when he does something politically brilliant, and honestly, I think morally good, allowing us to, again, buy pharmaceutical drugs without being totally hung out to dry by Big Pharma, I'll say that's a good thing. Life's complicated, and so is this answer. So Ghislaine Maxwell, here's his big answer here, and we're going to deconstruct it.
Today, a reporter asked you about Ghislaine Maxwell. You said, quote, "I just wish her well, frankly. I've met her numerous times over the years, especially since I lived in Palm Beach, but I wish her well, whatever it is." Mr. President, Ghislaine Maxwell has been arrested on allegations of child sex trafficking. Why would you wish such a person well?
First of all, I don't know that, but I do.
All right, so let's stop right there. First of all, I don't know that. Completely dishonest off the bat. And by the way, props to this reporter and I have no idea how the rest of the interview, which is about 40 minutes long, as you can see, goes. But he quoted him verbatim. He didn't imply anything. And he says, how could you wish her well? And he says, for someone that was arrested in a child sex trafficking case, basically. Okay? And out of the gates, Trump defends himself and says, I don't know that. Now, he didn't say she was guilty, and his response will be good. And this goes what I do know, okay? But again, what he does know is how to answer the question to his base.
You know that
She has. She's been arrested for that. You know
her
that.
friend or boyfriend
Epstein.
was either killed or committed suicide in
Stop. And he goes in jail. Was either killed or committed suicide. See, right there, even though that first part of the statement was completely false, everybody in America knows what she's been arrested for. He wasn't implying that he had inside knowledge, etc., nothing like that. But then he goes right to, was this guy killed in prison? You know, deflecting the question, or committed suicide, and nobody knows. Now, you would think, again, you're the president of the United States, you would get all that intel from Bill Barr, who, you know, told us that he definitely killed himself, and he's seen the evidence. Well, do the American people ever get to that evidence? That's the next question. But Trump is smart here. Let's continue.
jail. She's now in jail.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I wish her well. I'd wish you well. I'd wish a lot of people well. Good luck. Let them prove somebody was guilty.
All right, so let's start there. So let them prove somebody was guilty. So again, challenging the legal system in the case, but again, spinning it around, he doesn't know this reporter from Adam, right? He's probably never seen this guy before. I'd wish you well. Come on now. Trump is one of the most intelligent and cutthroat, savvy pop culture icons over the last 30 years. I'm talking long before the presidency. He knows how to pick a fight. He knows how to be controversial. He knows how to start a feud that will get him media attention. He doesn't wish everybody well. And again, I look at this as he also does realize he's an easy target with all the pictures and documentation of him with Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. And at some point, since he did talk to Bradley Edwards, those conversations or any kind of documentation may also become available. There's a lot out there, but let's continue with Trump's answer.
I mean, you do know that.
Oh, so you're saying you hope she doesn't die in jail? Is that what you mean by wish her well?
Her boyfriend died in jail, and people are still trying to figure out, how did it happen? Was it suicide? Was he killed? And I do wish her well. I'm not looking for anything bad for her. I'm not.
That's how, again, man, how is it that you say something like that about Ghislaine Maxwell, But then when asked about Julian Assange one time in the press, you don't know much about it. You know, there's no talk of what's happening to him even today in Belmarsh and how he was dragged out of an embassy. Okay, and remember, that trial starts soon, in about a month, over in September. We're going to see more and more of this. But he's always got an opinion, and that's also the press's fault for, again, not asking real questions. Because, folks, you don't seem to get it. Right now is the last chance we're going to have to maybe take some of these guys down with technology. And when I say guys, I mean men, women, whoever in the predator class that is here oppressing us on any level. We need real leaks. We need the hackers to do their job now and expose these people. But, you know, Trump saying this, think about this. He's the president of the United States. They had the most high-profile guy ever, and he goes, nobody knows. And I think, obviously, somebody knows, number one. And number two, it speaks to the fact that the president only has so much power. And I think that more and more people have realized that. And that's why I hate the term red-pilled and all that other stuff, because it's not like the media just became fake in 2015 or even pre-9/11. I started to notice it on a mass level post-9/11. But when you look at the Oklahoma City bombing, the way Waco was covered, the 93 World Trade Center bombing, okay, and you go even further back than that, into the Vietnam War, etc., it's going on for a long time, and it's morphed into a beast.
Looking bad for anybody, and they took that and
I mean, she's a alleged child sex trafficker.
Big deal, but all
they turned it into a big deal. He's like, well, you know, she's an alleged child sex trafficker. I actually like this guy.
it is her boyfriend died. He died in jail. Was he killed? Was it suicide? I do. I wish her well.
So there you go. I said it 3 times. He died in prison. Was he killed? Was it suicide? See, that's very smart of him. He's not a dumb guy. I think that's important. People have to realize, you know, this is a chess game to these people. And it's not 46D chess we're watching. You know, on top of all the things I mentioned, from JFK to Assange, now think about the irony of the fact that back in 2017, he was talking about getting out of Syria finally. He'd said it on the record at least a couple times within a week. And then the Duma attack happens, which is a non-attack. It's now been proven by WikiLeaks, ironically later, with documents that nobody in the media will talk about, right? And we're still there, you know, 2+ years later. And it's still not acknowledged that a chemical attack in Duma never happened, let alone Assad did not gas his own people. But it's so far in the backdrop of, you know, the media cycle at this point. When was the last time you heard about Syria? But Trump also failed there. You know, you can't expect that you're going to get amazing results when your administration is Bolton, is Mattis, is currently Haspel, Pompeo, Barr. I'm sorry. But at the same time, they're not idiots. And Trump, you know, sometimes pushes it as far as he can. And as I said, you know, that was a brilliant political move to do that with Big Pharma. But we're in for a really weird 2020. This election, I mean, I don't want to make this video about Biden or anything else. I wanted to really show you that, you know, Trump has said some pretty deplorable things about this case right now. He knows damn well she's a child sex trafficker. Anybody that's looked at this case knows, and this guy's got real inside knowledge. So to me, you know, that answer continues to be unacceptable. Sorry. You know, if you're just a dieharder and you can't hear this, you really got to look at yourself in the mirror and say, will I be willing to go out there and make any real change? Because one of the speakers that was so important yesterday in New York, ex-Navy SEAL, ex-FBI agent, he's like, Democrats are here. He goes, Republicans that are here, libertarians. He goes, just so you know. And he was speaking out against quote-unquote communism, you know, which to me, you know, is that form of globalism they're pushing, if you know, defined differently by different people. But he said, look, these political parties, it's over, man. It's done. Look at it's going on now. So that's why I'm not a red pill guy. I'm not a truther guy. I'm none of those things. I look for the truth, and I call it out where I see it. And the truth is that was a very cunning answer. Trump is not a stupid man, but he clearly lied with his first breath. With his first breath. I don't know that. Everybody knows what she was arrested for. Okay? But then spun it into something that, people that are just, they think they have critical thinking, but then it's their guy, it's their superstar, right? It's their Hulk Hogan or Randy Macho Man Savage, or it's The Rock, right? Or it's Stone Cold. And they just turn it off. And they go to that fan-like mentality. And that's not what I'm about. So guys, thumbs the video up, subscribe, and share. Join the Burmist Brigade. Probably going to lose some subscribers for this one, but hey, you got to tell the truth where it's at. $5, $10, $15. It means the world to me. Big donors need you now more than ever. My documentary films all free in the playlist section. Loose Change, Final Cut, and Fabled Enemies if you want to understand exactly how this national security state, this international intelligence organization, because it's so nuanced, creates false fear through false flags, and this was, just a destruction of the Constitution and Bill of Rights. A real move to the globalism that we talk about in Invisible Empire, A New World Order Defined, and Shade the Motion Picture. Again, thumbs the video up, subscribe, and share. And now in about 45 minutes, I'm going to be doing an exclusive video over at Rockfin for free on TikTok in China. You can make a free account and then follow me there. Doesn't cost you a thing, and you will get this exclusive, and it's a live stream. So if you're there, get into the chat. I'd love to talk to you. Guys, I love you, and I'll see you on the flip side.